Arsenal Fan TV here with the Transfer Daily. Sorry to be coming to you a little bit late today, but we are here. And it was good to be back yesterday watching the boys down there at Boreham Wood. Arsenal winning that game, that friendly game, 2-0 against Boreham Wood. And a good little run out for Arsenal. First half was a bit, well, boring is the word to describe it. Arsenal had all of the ball, loads of chances. Yaya Sanogo missing quite a few easy chances in that game. But in the second half, livened up and a couple of great goals. You've got to watch the first goal by Olsen, who I thought was very impressive, and a great assist by Thomas Rosicky. And then the second one, brilliant piece of skill by Benik Afobe, and a great, it ended up in a penalty, and Arsenal, again, coming out on top of that game, 2-0. But a very good workout for the lads, and a very good attendance from Gooners down there. And after the game, Arsene Wenger did a Q&A session with the media, and they were asking him several questions. Now, one of the questions that they were asking him was about Thomas Vermaelen. Is he staying or is he going? And very interestingly, Arsene Wenger would not confirm either way, which again seems to confirm to me that Thomas Vermaelen is going to be leaving the club. He's only got a year left on his contract, as I've been saying, and with only a year left on your contract, you're vulnerable for a club that comes in with a big bid. The player kind of holds the cards as well. And the rumour that he's been going to Man United has been going around now for so long, and it looks like that could happen, because Arsene Wenger even talking about the fact that if Vermaelen does go, he's going to need to bring in another centre-half. And we spoke to a couple of fans down there yesterday, and they were sort of saying they don't want him to go, but they can understand if he goes, because they know he wants first-team football, but he's just not going to get it. He's not the first choice. And as I was saying the other day, have we seen the best of Thomas Vermaelen? I've really loved him as a player at Arsenal, but have we seen the best of him? And is it time for a change? And Arsene Wenger saying that he would bring in another centre-half if Thomas Vermaelen leaves. So we're going to have to watch this space. Could be another signing coming in. Now, he also didn't dodge the whole Sami Khedira. Well, sorry, did dodge the whole Sami Khedira thing. Again, not saying yes, not saying no. And there are reports out today. There's a report out in Court Offside website that Arsenal are looking to tie that up within the next 48 hours. Again, nobody knows if that's 100% true or not. There are definitely talks going on between Arsenal and Sami Khedira, but whether it happens or not, it's one of those, isn't it? It's one of those. When you're trying to sign these big players, a lot of negotiation has to go on. It's obvious that it looks like he's going to be leaving the club. And to me, if Chelsea are not going to be coming in for him, I can only really see one other destination for him that he would really fancy, and that is coming to Arsenal, because he's not going to go to Barca. I very much doubt Bayern Munich, because Bayern Munich have already got players in there. They've got Javi Martinez in that position. So he's going to want to come to another club of stature, and I can see that Arsenal is like the perfect fit for him. So we'll have to wait and see. This Khedira thing, it might become a lot clearer this week. Also, we're getting news today that Arsenal have, according to a paper in Portugal, the name of the paper called Jogo, they reckon that Arsenal put in a bid for William Carvalho. Now, this is the imposing defensive midfielder, plays for Sport in Lisbon, only 21 years of age. You saw a little glimpse of him in the World Cup. He looked really, really good, really powerful. Has been a target for a long time for Manchester United, but it looks like they're kind of cooling on him. Now, Arsenal apparently put in a bid of, let me see here, 30 million euros, but his buyout clause is 45 million, and Sporting Lisbon are saying they're not budging on that. And that has also been the sticking point for when Man United have tried to go in for him. Way too expensive, talented player, young player, is going to be a really, really top player. But 45 million euros release clause, no, I'm sorry, for an unproven player. He looks the part, but that to me seems a bit ridiculous. But Arsenal are putting a bid, just because that's the buyout clause, doesn't mean that he won't go for under that. And he also, this player has one of these little complicated deals where he's part owned by the club, part owned by certain other people. So whether that happens or not, but it's interesting that Arsenal put in a bid for him, if this is true from his Portuguese paper called a Jogo, that he may be coming to, that Arsenal put in a bid for him, are keen to bring him in. Obviously, that defensive midfielder position is a position that Arsenal know that they need to buy a very, very good player to fill that spot. Reports also saying that Arsenal are looking at Morgan Schneiderlin, as we know that they've opened talks with him. Now, again, as I said, they're going to be talking to all targets in that role, in that defensive midfielder position. They're going to be talking to all targets to see which one of them is the most likely to bring. It's also a bit of brinkmanship by the club. They have to, they have to let agents realise that, you know what, if you don't accept this offer, well, we've got other options, and they've got to keep their options open. So Morgan Schneiderlin, again, a player that also apparently talking to with a hope of bringing him in. One player that it definitely looks like they're not going to be bringing in, and totally crushes my prediction right at the start of the transfer window. I told everybody, right, hold my hands up, right, I told everybody that the done deal was Loic Remy, that he was coming to Arsenal. How wrong I've been. Now listen, it was a done deal. It was. I spoke again to my contact yesterday, and basically what he said to me is that Arsenal have changed their mind on Loic Remy. Loic Remy wanted to come to Arsenal. Arsenal were keen on Loic Remy, but they wanted him to lower his wages, but they were keen on him. But however, they've turned their sights apparently to other targets. Now, who are those other targets? And these Liverpool fans ribbing me yesterday about, oh, when are you going to get a T-shirt saying Loic Remy is a Scouser, not a Gooner? I think it's a bit different when the club decide that they don't want the player anymore, rather than the player saying, no, I don't want to go there, I'd rather go to the other club. But Loic Remy looks like he's definitely on his way to Liverpool. So who will be the striker then that Arsenal are going to turn their sights to? Because if they've were in for Loic Remy, remember he was even in the stands watching Arsenal like the last game of the season. If they're not going to get Loic Remy, who is that signing going to be? There are reports today that Arsenal are looking at going back in and getting Mario Balotelli. Now this will be a big shock to me after the interview that Arsene Wenger did, where he totally discounted it and said, no, we definitely 100% are not interested in Mario Balotelli. The talk out there now is that now that the price of Mario Balotelli's come right down, Arsene Wenger's looking at it and thinking it's a better option than Loic Remy. Could Puma have anything to do with it? He's a Puma player. Was even in London the other day doing some promotional stuff for Puma. Listen, it's all speculation at the moment, but that's the rumour flying all over the place that it's it's Mario Balotelli that Arsenal would like to bring in. And also, another rumour that's flying around is James Milner, that Arsenal are interested in James. I don't see where James Milner would fit into the club. I don't see the requirement for him. I know he can do that discipline role, but he'd be going from Man City, where he wouldn't start every week, to Arsenal, where he's not going to start every week. I wouldn't understand that one. He's not a holding midfielder either, so I just don't see how that would make any sense to Arsenal, because the guy at the moment at his club is trying to get assurances that he starts every week. He's at a club where he's just won the title. Why would he move to another club where he's not going to start every week? I don't get that one. And the other one's Iker Casillas coming to Arsenal. Apparently he wants to move. Again, I don't know. I still think it will be David Ospina will be the player that's going to be coming in that goalkeeping role. Another role that Arsene Wenger spoke about yesterday. I don't see the Iker Casillas things, but as you see with the Loic Remy thing, I can be humbly wrong. All right. Let's get into a few of your comments to see what you guys are saying. N.E. Brutal ZZ says, I'm not really sure if Court Offside is a legitimate site, although Magical Mario would be amazing. They are a legitimate site, but they get a lot of things wrong. We know that. Braden Hall says, Higuain all over again. I think he might be talking about the Remy thing, which is very, very similar to the Higuain thing, in that Arsenal were about to buy Higuain, changed their mind to get another target, and ended up with nobody. Let's hope that that's not the case this year. Super Mario is a no-no for Arsenal, says Mod Faisal. Dick Patel says Bender, if not Kadira. We've been hearing that now for even Bully yesterday when I was interviewing him. He said he thinks Bender is the other option that he would like to get in. Fawaz16 says Balotelli would mess up our squad. Jao1 says, Robbie, give a shout out to me watching all the way from Dubai. James, well done to you, James. Thank you for your support. Is it James or Hamis? FIFA King simply says for Williams, he's talking about William Carvalho, the player that Arsenal apparently put a bid in for. Jack Barnes says, no one will take you seriously if you can't correctly apply the English language. He's saying that I'm saying William wrong. I apologise to you, but I'm not Portuguese. QNR Arsenal says, Mario Balotelli is a terrible signing, a troublemaker and a very inconsistent striker. Basically, a more expensive Bentner. He's a lot better than Nicholas Bentner. You're talking about a player in a different league to Bentner, quite frankly. But we know about the off-field stuff, and that wouldn't be welcome at Arsenal if that's what he would bring. The Blinkify says, I believe at Arsenal, Balotelli could potentially settle down and gain more discipline. You know, again, a lot of people say that Arsene Wenger would be the sort of player that would be the sort of manager actually who would be able to, you know, bring some discipline to Mario Balotelli. Interfericus says Mad Mario will be a bad idea. He could potentially ruin the team morale. Quite a few of that saying that. You know, not too keen. Kasky72 says a shame if we lose Thomas Vermaelen. He provides left back and centre back cover. That is very true. He can, you know, he can play in different positions. Ross James says BBC say we have put a bid in of around 15 million for Balotelli. Good idea. Let's get just a couple more in. Victor Alexander said Balotelli is definitely a better buy than Loic Remy, who's joining Liverpool. A great replacement for Suarez, he says. I feel sorry for Tottenham, right, and sorry for Liverpool. Listen, it's a good buy for Liverpool if they Loic Remy, but as I said, what else have Arsenal got up their sleeve? If they're foregoing Loic Remy, we know that Loic Remy definitely wanted to come to Arsenal. That is a place where he wanted to play. If he's foregoing them to go to Liverpool, Arsenal are not interested. Who is the striker that Arsenal are looking to get? Is it Balotelli? You guys tell me what you think. Leave it in the comments below. What striker do you think Arsenal are going after? Or what striker would you like Arsenal to go after? Leave it in the comments below. And don't forget to check out all our videos from yesterday's game against Boreham Wood. Great video with the Boreham Wood players where they were telling me that they didn't even get a touch of the ball. Great video and insight with that. Great video with Wojciech Szczesny. I couldn't believe that yesterday. Helping Vic Akers to pack away the kit and then leaving the game in a white van with Vic Akers. Is this a new role for Wojciech Szczesny? I'll tell you what, it was really good to see that. You can't say that all footballers are prima donnas. And also we caught up with Bully and other characters down there at the game. That's great. Make sure you check that out. And we'll be back tomorrow. We'll be back quite early tomorrow morning because we've got some big interview that we're doing tomorrow. So I've got to get down to where we're doing this interview early to interview this person. And so look out for that later on Monday. We've got a big interview. And don't forget, if you're not subscribing to Arsenal Fan TV yet, subscribe to us. Closing in on 100,000 subscribers, and we really, really thank you for your support. Thanks, and we'll see you again tomorrow.